What happens when power meets cruelty and someone finally stands up for what's right? In today's story, a pregnant waitress is humiliated in front of everyone by a ruthless heiress, but she didn't realize one powerful man was watching everything. What he does next will shock you and change everything in seconds. This emotional and dramatic story is about respect, justice, and unexpected protection. If you enjoy powerful stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Now let's get started. Sarah moved carefully between the tightly packed tables, her hands steady despite the weight of the tray she carried. The soft glow of chandeliers reflected off polished glass and silverware, creating an elegant atmosphere that contrasted sharply with the tension she felt inside. Being several months pregnant made every step more deliberate, every movement more cautious. She had learned to ignore the occasional impatient looks from guests, focusing only on doing her job well. As she approached a corner table filled with well-dressed elites, a sudden voice cut through the air like a blade. "Get out of my way." The words were sharp, dripping with entitlement. Before Sarah could react, a loud slap echoed across the restaurant. The tray in her hands tilted, glasses rattling as she stumbled backward, barely managing to keep her balance. One hand instinctively moved to protect her stomach, her breathing quick and uneven. The entire room fell into a stunned silence. Conversations died instantly, replaced by shocked stares and uncomfortable whispers. Sarah's cheeks burned with humiliation, her eyes filling with tears she tried desperately to hold back. Standing in front of her was Victoria Hale, her expression filled with irritation rather than regret, as if nothing significant had happened. At a nearby table, Adrian Volkov had been quietly observing the evening. But now his attention was fully captured. His gaze darkened as he took in the scene. The trembling waitress, the arrogant heiress, and the crowd too afraid to intervene. Slowly he set down his glass, the faint sound echoing in the silence. He rose from his seat with calm precision, yet his presence shifted the entire atmosphere. Staff members straightened, and even the air seemed heavier as he began walking toward them. Each step was measured, deliberate. People instinctively moved aside, sensing something far more powerful than anger approaching. And as Adrian closed the distance, his cold, unwavering eyes locked onto Victoria, promising that what came next would not be ignored. Adrian stopped just inches away from Victoria, his towering presence casting a shadow over her confidence. The arrogance on her face flickered for a brief moment, replaced by uncertainty as she noticed the sudden shift in the room. The staff stood straighter. The manager looked visibly nervous, and even the guests avoided eye contact. Adrian's voice, when he finally spoke, was calm, too calm, but it carried a weight that silenced even the faintest whisper. "You will apologize," he said, his tone leaving no room for argument. Victoria let out a small, mocking laugh, attempting to regain control of the situation. She brushed her hair back and crossed her arms, clearly unaware of the man she was challenging. "Do you even know who I am?" she replied with cold defiance. But Adrian didn't respond to her question. Instead, he gave a subtle nod. Within seconds, the atmosphere changed completely. Security personnel appeared as if from nowhere, positioning themselves strategically around the room. The manager hurried forward, his face pale, addressing Adrian with visible respect. It became painfully clear this wasn't just a customer. He owned everything around them. Victoria's confidence shattered, her posture stiffened, and the color drained from her face as reality set in. The power she was used to wielding suddenly meant nothing. Her voice trembled as she turned towards Sarah, who still stood shaken, holding herself protectively. "I am sorry," Victoria muttered at first. Adrian's silence demanded more. "I'm sorry," she repeated louder. This time, her pride breaking under the pressure of the moment. Adrian then shifted his attention to Sarah, and his expression softened slightly. He assured her she was safe now, and instructed the staff to take care of her immediately. A chair was brought, water offered, and medical assistance arranged without delay. As the tension slowly dissolved, one thing remained clear: power had spoken. But this time, it had chosen to defend, not destroy.